Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a paint scheme and a work system. So paint scheme that's going to take you down all the avenues of airbrushing, and that's like an absolute godsend, so you're not having to buy a different set of paints to go down every avenue. You just move into one paint scheme and you're covered for all the applications. It's like, well, that's what you want with the paint. And the paint scheme that you put in your brush and sprays instantly and can get you right down on micro stuff and can move into miniatures, move into custom painting, move on to leather trainers and leather jackets and material, move on to all your substrates like your papers, your synthetic papers, canvases. It covers the lot. So I think a great set of paint that I'm going to talk you through that covers all the applications. It sprays straight out of the bottle, so you're not going to muck around with it because you're going to be doing all the legwork at the start as you move into this paint scheme. And it's simple stuff to do. So I'm going to talk you through on how you can get into this paint scheme that's going to cover you for all these applications. So you can just chuck all this into your little case and you know you're covered. You're not got to stress. You've probably got to buy a couple of products extra, but I'll talk you through them and they're not expensive. So the actual paint scheme that I'm using is Dale Around It, and it's inks. It's their products. They are great. Been testing them now for over the last few years. I'm just using them more and more and more of them. So we've got FW inks, we've got System 3, and we've got the Dred Custom Skin. That is my paint scheme. Sorted. Now how I make it up is, and how you can sort of move into building this paint scheme up. It's nice and simple, and it doesn't break the bank at the start. It really doesn't, because you add to it as you go along and you make your scheme bigger. So you're starting off with FW bottles like this. You can get these online. I'll leave a link in the description of a really good place to get them from. But you can pick these up in Hobbycraft, and a lot of people do. If you go Hobbycraft, you're paying full whack. You really are. It's probably one of the dearest places to buy it from is Hobbycraft, but you can get that if it's accessible to you and you're not doing online shopping. Some people don't. Hobbycraft sell this. So you're getting a 30 milliliter bottle like this, 30ml bottle. And what you would do is normally you would get your FW inks and you would have all these around your easel and you're working from these. There's no harm in that. It's the wrong way to work this way. It really is, especially with these bottles. Now the reason why I say it's the wrong way to work, having all these bottles around your easel and using them and colour mixing from these and spraying, is FW inks and their actual line of paints I've found is a very, very strong pigment. So when you're spraying this, you're spraying full opaque and there is sort of no need. You can really stretch this out. Like this one bottle using their flow improver will make 3 to 4 bottles this size. That's how far this paint will stretch, and it will go further because I've pushed it to its maximum on thinning out. Can't get any thinner, it literally just turns clear. So I've pushed it to the extremes on thinning it with different products. So I know you can push it on the tests that I've done. So having these around your easel and working from them, they have an unscrew lid. So the first thing you do is this. You'll be doing this before you come to paint. You go like this. And then you undo the lid, yeah? When you've shook it, you get a load of build up on the inner of this piece, and you get a load of build up around the lip, like this. And eventually that builds up and starts to run down the glass threads, and then it dries up. So then you'll start finding your FW bottles, they crack, and you're cracking them to get them undone. The pipettes go brittle, so this bit goes brittle, permanently working around where you're working because you get overspray. And the overspray lands on this black soft rubber and it becomes brittle. And then these crack. I've had it happen, they crack. You don't realise because it's got overspray, it just looks like a bit of overspray paint. You grab your bottle, you go to shake it, it pressurises up and the ink spews out the split and goes all over the walls. Been there, done it. So I never work with these around the easel. These get moved away as soon as I buy a bottle. Wipe the lid and I put them in the other room. I use these as stock, and this is how you move into this system. You start working your FWs in another room. You have these in another room and you mix from them. They're just your supplies. And what you're doing is you're then going to move down to a smaller bottle. So I move down to 10 milliliter bottles like this, and I do mixes into these with the FW. Now these are 10 milliliter bottles, and I do mixed colour, 10 millimeters up, 10 mil up on the bottle there, and do a little line. That's my mixed colour. That's the finished mixed opaque colour, and then I back that right the way up to the neck with flow improver, and that is a perfect mix for airbrushing. It really is. Ball bearing shaker in there, so you've got a colour. You've mixed the colour up. Now what you do to build this paint scheme up is you will start mixing random colours up to 10 mil on your 10 milliliter bottle, and literally just mix some random ones. You've not got to stress. This is your core set that you're building up. So you have a day of mixing. Get yourself, like I did, 50 bottles. I'm going to mix some random colours. So you mix a few white, a few red, a few yellow, up to the 10 mil line, shake it, yep, back it, fill it up with the flow improver. You've got your bottle of paint. Now when you're doing that, jot it down how you mixed it. Just on a piece of paper, write down 10 drops of white, I added 3 drops of yellow, and I put a bit of green in that, or I put a bit of blue in that, and I came up with this colour. So that's how I make it. So you've got that to refer to if you need to mix it again. Once you've mixed your setup like that and you've jotted them down, then you're going to start and make your own set of swatches. So you make a full set of swatches like this. Very simple to make, strips of paper, and I'm using the same strips of paper as what I work on. So this paint that's sprayed down on this paper is identical to what it will spray down like on the paper that I use. So you get a really good reference of how these colours lay down to your paper, because spraying paints on different substrates, they give you different tones. You get different colours of white paper. They're not always bright white. You can see that if you get a load of different brands of paper, there'll be different shades of white. Some go to cream and you wouldn't think it. When you hold it on its own, it looks white. But when you hold it against a variety of other papers, you'll see the variety of different whites that you can get. So you spray then your set, your core set, down to swatches, number your bottles, number your swatches, and your best bet's to write your information on the back of one of these of how you mix it. So you've got your core set. This is my core 50 that I've got, right? Now, out of these colours, you're near as damn it going to hit everything you need for a portrait. You really are. You're probably just going to be tinting slightly on the fly as you're spraying, you know, tinting over with another colour. But you've got your base set. You've got your swatches, you've got your base set. I've also got that with the custom skin. So I've got the custom skin set, and that is my full palette with them 3 swatches. So I'm covered to paint anything I want. You know, I've not got to worry. They're all pre-mixed. They're all mixed and flowed out to each bottle exactly the same. So every bottle of paint I pick up, I've got no issues of putting in the brush, then fiddling around with it, fiddling with the air pressure, fiddling with the reducer. I've got none of that. It's ironed all that out. Every bottle will spray the same, every one, because they're all thinned correctly. So all I'm doing is putting it in the brush, the PSI set, because I know that runs sweet at 20 PSI or 10 PSI with any of them paints, and I'm painting. So it's took all the stress out of that, and it takes the stress out of your colours and mixing again in the future, because you've got all the reference here. So if you then work from your core set and you run out of a colour, number 9, I need another number 9, you can go and mix it. And when you mix it efficiently because you've got it written down. So you mix exactly the right amount. You're not wasting paint, remixing paint. You're just replenishing your core set when you run out. You go into the room where your stock is, and you just keep an eye on your stock. So if you run out of a bottle of, you're running low on a cool grey, I need to buy a cool grey. I don't need to go and buy a full set of FW again. I'm just buying one bottle at a time because that's ran low. And you'll start to see what you use when you're mixing a lot. And I guarantee you don't need the whole set. You just need to stock up on certain bottles to get this colour range. You really do. So that's how you sort of come into the scheme, and you can build up on that. You start with a little core set of FW bottles, big bottle of white, nice big bottle of flow improver, and stretch it and make your set like that. So you've got all your colours down, and then you want a system where you can use it and it starts to, the swatches come into play again, and you move them into the next part, which I'm going to talk you through. So when you're doing a colour picture like I did this, painted this the other day, didn't film it, I just thought, right, I'm not putting the camera on, I just want to have room so I can move around, because usually I've got the camera here and I'm sort of painting at a funny angle so I'm not in shot of the camera. It's a pain. Moved the camera out and I thought, I'm just going to paint this on a Sunday. I pulled the swatches out, I know all the paint's good to go, I'm not got to worry about that. All I've got to do is clean the brush, and now I'm moving into working this system. So I'm going to start colour matching. Piece of paper, a little window cut out of it, and you're going over to your reference. You print out. I'm working from a TV, so this will be another printout that I would have. So if you've got your reference as a printout, use one for a printout and then print another one on A4. If you work in A3, just print out on A4. Go round like that and slide your swatch up behind the window and isolate a colour. Once you've found the colour, number 15, white pen, number 15 on here, and work round this picture as you work round your colour matching here, and jot your numbers down like that and pull your bottles out. So you've got your line of bottles to paint that picture. You've worked from the swatches on your colour matching. You've near as damn it got every colour. If you've not got a colour and it's a tint, say here and here, write down your solid skin tone that you're working on the highlight round here, and you know you're going to be tinting over darker, redder on these cheeks. You can put custom skin, which is number 5, which was this piece, and then to the side of it slash number 6 slash number 4. 6 and 4 are your tinters, and you just work it like that. So when you paint it, you can just, right, we need number 10, pick number 10 up. So that makes you more efficient when you're sort of mapping out before you start to paint, just working the swatches again. So as you're painting, you're probably using a standard airbrush that's got like a big cup on it, or if you're using a H&S, you're using one that's got sort of the next size down cup. And this is what I was using before I started running it this way. And when I painted this, I set everything up, I thought, right, I'm going to work it like this, and I'm going to change the cup up to the micro cup. I thought, yeah, I'm going to give the micro cup a go. What I like about the micro cup is it's full visibility. You've got a lot more visibility. You've got a lot more room if you work with your finger over the trigger. I thought, right, micro cup will give it a go. So first colour I picked, I thought, right, I'm going to do this background here, like that. Number 29, I need 29 there, 29 and a bit of 29 in here. So gets the bottle of 29, micro cup, and went drop, 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 spray, spray, spray. Finish that, come to the end here, the paint ran out just as I was finishing. So I thought, crikey, that's 3 drops, 3 to 4 drops of paint to do that bit, and that bit. And carried on. Then carried on, went to the next colour. I thought, right, I've got to clean the micro cup. So I got the airbrush cleaner and went drop, drop, maximum 3 drops. I went like that, 1, 2, 3, in there. Bubble back, blast through, cotton bud, wipe the edge of the micro cup, clean. Back onto the next colour, couple of drops of paint, and work the portrait like that. Now, previous to working with the micro cup, when I was painting with the next size H&S cup, we all do it. We put too much paint in. We go, we need blue, 29. So you go bigger cup, you put more paint in, you spray that, spray that, and spray that. What I've just said with the 3 drops with the micro cup, but now you've put more paint in on your bigger cup. So then you've got paint left in it. So you go First thing you do is you go to grab your cleaner and you wallop cleaner right to the top. You back bubble it, mix it all up. So you've got a full cup of like a bit of paint and a load of cleaner. You bubble it up, you throw that away, or you spray out in your spray out pot. Then you put another load of cleaner in, you get a cotton bud or a brush, and then you brush round, and then you blast through again. Then you probably see a little bit more in the bottom, so you put another bit more of cleaner in, and it was like, hang on a minute, this is just a waste of paint and a waste of cleaner. It really is. And I was going through cleaner, filling this bottle up quite a bit, and I'm thinking, this is a good cleaner, a really good cleaner. I'm using it insufficiently. I really am, and I'm wasting paint. You're sort of going through your paint, you think, crikey, yeah. How much did I waste on that picture using a bigger cup and putting too much paint in and putting too much cleaner in? After painting it with this and going through it with this, with the micro cup, a few drops paint, you then get to realise, well, that was only 3 drops. That was 10 drops or 20 drops instead of a full cup. That was 20 drops, say, instead of a full cup or half a cup, and you're just throwing it away. Because I guarantee it, nobody is that anal that they go, I've got a full cup of paint left. Let me just undo this and take the lid off and decant that back in there. And then put the lid back on and do that. It's very rare we do that. And especially when you've got the bigger H&S cup on, I guarantee it. Because the cups come up and do that, you get paint build up all the way around here. You always get it on the bigger H&S cups or any airbrush cup. It starts to build up around the edge and you get a dirty mixture of paint around the edge of the cup. So you're not going to be tipping your paint back in because the edge of the cup's all dirty and you're cross-contaminating. So the first thing you do is throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. Cleaner, throw it away, throw it away. So just by switching up to that, painting that, using that system with the swatches at the start, mixing my colours that way, it all came together and it's going to save you money. Is that what we all want? You know, we all want to save some money, work more efficiently, find an easier process to get round something and help you along when you paint. And just doing that does. Doing your colour matching first, if you're doing colour, drop your numbers in. You can revert back to where you're going, because when you look at images, I mean, I did on colour ones and things like that, you look at it and think, crikey, how the hell do I paint that? Look at all the colours in here. But when you go round doing that, with this first, on the face, you know, a lot of the face is basically sort of one colour, and then there's sort of tones coming and making it brighter here, darker here for the shadows. So you just use your flesh tones in the custom skin set and you just, all becomes easier, mixing it, putting your numbers in. It's a great system to work to, and if you take that system with you, if you're going custom painting, you're basically doing that, but you're doing it on a hard surface. That's all you're doing. You're just creating artwork and things on a hard surface. You know, if you can paint it on that, you can paint it on a hard surface. You just got to change the way you paint. Slow yourself down a bit, because you can't wallop the paint down on a hard surface like you can paper. It's a little bit more forgiving paper. So taking this system down the custom paint route, I think you're sort of covered, and using that sort of way about it, you'll just be a little bit more efficient in your painting. And as I say, it saves you money. If you're going down the trainers, leather, things like that, you want to go down that route, System 3 is meant for that. The Daler Rowney System 3 is basically for all your sort of materials and things. You can use this straight down on custom painting as well. Intermixable with FW ink. So it sits down on your hard surfaces, great, bonds down great. But you can use that one straight to sort of leather. If you was going specifically, that's the avenue you want to go, custom painting trainers, I would go for, if you want the rest of this system to work really well with it, I always go belts and braces, coming from sort of the big spray gun industry and doing quite a bit of that as well, on different substrates like plastic. When you're doing custom paint, you'll be going plastic over base coats, over gel coats. You get to sort of experience different primers and what works and bonds to the surface, so you can apply your next layer of paint. If it comes to leather, for me, I would go and bring into this system two extra bottles, and one would be a Liquid Kicks primer, which is a flexible primer. It's usually clear or white, and I'd go for the Liquid Kicks like top coat sealer, which you can get in matte, satin or gloss. I'd have them 2 bottles if I was specifically going trainers. Drop your primer down and then you're good to go for any of that paint. It'll go straight down and you can work your custom scheme on top of that, and then just seal it down, coat over the top, light coat of the sealer, job done. You've got no issues, you'll have no sort of comebacks. The trainers will be nice and flexible, the paint won't crack, it'll be absolutely fine. So you can pull system 3 in if you're doing that. But if you go in leather, just two bottles of primer brought into your system. Not expensive, just 2 bottles will last you a long time, because you're not putting bucket loads of paint down. You're really not. On a pair of trainers, you're doing a dust coat of the primer. You really are. It's just a grip coat for your paint to stick to it. So you can work it to your advantage. You've got more control over your paint. You really have. You've got more control over it, and you know how far you can push it. You know how to mix it, so you're not mixing on the fly, wasting it. You drop your cup size down so you're not wasting it. You're not wasting your cleaner. It's just a lot more efficient. And what the next thing that I've put into this, as I say, you can build it up. I've done a monotone set, because you'll see a lot of the time on the channel. I love the monochrome portraits. I prefer doing monochrome stuff more than I do colour. I just really do. So a simple monochrome set that you can make out of FW. Sepia is a great one. If you want to do sort of like the vintage type sort of artwork, sepia is a great colour to spray with. You buy 1 bottle of sepia in the FW lineup, and again, stretch it. Flow improver, stretch it out, because it's a very strong pigment, and you can make up a load more bottles and it will last you ages, guys. It really will. So I've got a sepia mixed up FW with a flow improver. I've got 2 Payne's Greys. I've got one that's diluted even further. So when you work the micro portraits, the FW Payne's Greys are a really nice one, and the System 3s as well. You can really stretch it, so you can have a real light tone in mix number 1, then mix number 2, the darker tone. And I just got 1 bottle of FW, and I've still got loads left, and I've mixed up 2 big bottles to paint with. So it really stretches out. So it's a great paint that's got plenty of pigment there to play and stretch. But once you get it, once you find that mix, I mean, mine's the 10 millilitre bottle, 10 ml mix of paint, flow improver, perfect. No dramas. So I hope this has helped, just working and building your paint scheme up, one that you can take with you down all the avenues and not worry. And you're covered, and you can just stick with a paint that works for you, and you are in charge of it, sort of thing. You've got more sort of, you know, you're all covered. You've not got to worry about your remixing your colours, because you've got all the info there from day dot. You've done it all. You've done the hard bit. The rest of it, you're just painting. You know, you'll enjoy it. You know, it's always nice to find a paint scheme that you go in on. Same as car paint sprayers. When you work at body shops, they're either using a water-based scheme or they're using a solvent-based scheme. And there is so many on the water-based scheme. There's so many on the solvent. When you come to your clear coats, there's so many. You know, and then you find one that's bang on and works for all the applications, and you stick with it. That's what usually happens. You know, in the car industry, obviously going Octral, PPG, MIPA, Capset. You'll go with one of them paint schemes and just get on with it, and one will be better than the other, and you'll just find the one that you like. But for me, that does exactly what I want it to do. and it's very, very stress free. And that's like, oh great, I found a paint that works and I can use it on that. If I want to paint a 3D model, I can use it on that. If I want to paint some trainers, yes, I can use it on that. Just got to get 2 bottles, Liquid Kicks primer and a Liquid Kicks top coat. Job done. I'm painting leather. I'm set up for leather. You know, it's just finding that right paint, work it to a system like that. You've probably got paints you could work this sort of style of system like with the swatches, with the brand of paints that you like. It just makes you more efficient, guys. It saves you money in the long run. So hope this has helped and you've picked up some good tips along the way. Have a go. Links in the description if you wanted to start moving into this paint scheme. Stick print paint, you're going to get all your FW lineup. You'll get your Dred custom skin that's being released really soon, which is cool. You'll get your System 3. You've also got Aquafine. You get all your illustration sheet paper there, your knives, your blades, all the essential tools that I use on the channel, guys, that are working for me for producing artwork for you lot. That's where they're coming from. It's stick print paint, because the person, if you didn't watch the videos, Mark, who runs stick print paint, is an artist himself and has been in the industry a long, long time. So these are the products that this gentleman's worked over the years with, producing amazing pieces of art with, and they work. And after introducing him to stick print paint and going along with stick print paint, I've now moved on to products and things that he used in the past, and they're working for me. So if they work for him for God knows how many years, and they've worked for me for the last year, and they're working great, they're going to work for you. You want decent products at the end of the day, and these are decent products. So drop your comments and tell me your thoughts on what paint scheme you use, whether you get on with it, how you're finding it. Just have a little chat up in the comments and I'll get back to you on that. So thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. See you in the next one.